Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is Monday night, so that means you guys are listening to Voces Unidas on KROJ 101.5 FM. I'm Diosy, and my co-hosts today are
Melisa
and Maria.
Yay! How are you guys this evening?
All right. A little tired, but being with you guys gives me energy, so I'm going to be all right.
Yeah, I had a busy weekend and also a busy Monday. So I'm my brain is trying to catch up with my body. So
it's time to settle down.
So I'm here.
Good thing we're going to be seated in these seats for a good minute right now. So today, you guys, we're going to chat it up with Ethereal from Scorpio Gardens. Super excited to have you here. Teodora booked you. Shout out, Teodora.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am doing good. It's been a really good weekend. Been out in nature a few times. And today I'm excited to be here with you all, sharing space and being in this back room of Voces Unidas. I've been here before, but not this far in.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing
the
here.
The secret back room. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you here, learn a little bit about what Scorpio Gardens is and everything that you do with it in the community. Straight off the bat, like just looking at your socials, super intrigued. I love the nature walks that you do. Super excited to learn about that. But for those of us, or for the listeners that don't know what Scorpio Gardens is, can you please explain?
Yeah, so Scorpio Gardens is a land stewardship project that originated from my work that I was doing back in undergrad. I was a landscape manager for my co-op, managing about 2 acres of orchard and community garden space there. And then at the same time, I was learning about the woes of capitalism, all the systems that put us into our current circumstances, socially, environmentally, economically. And so from that, I created Scorpio Gardens to bring light to all of these issues, kind of put all of what I've been learning and doing together into one project that I can bring back to my community. It's also been a tool for like my own personal survival. I transitioned to a retail plant store for a while, which I'm transitioning out of now, and that really helped me get my footing in the world, make some money to build out my dream of Scorpio Gardens a little bit further and develop it into what it is turning into now, which is more of a community-based land stewardship project, where I work to create environmental education, ecological education, and really focus on traditional ecological knowledge, connecting our community members back to our local ecosystems and the importance of them.
That's so cool. I was wondering if you could also just talk about kind of the different activities that you do, because I know like you do hikes and like some other things,
workshops.
So I'm starting to get into the programming of it all. I am starting to lead some guided nature walks where I teach about the ecology of local ecosystems. One that I did recently was at Veterans Park on the hiking trails there. And that's a hike that I had done for the last 10 years and hadn't really connected with until recently, when I started learning more about the native plants in the area and the local ecosystems. I was able to lead about 10 people on that hike, and everyone felt super connected. They were all LA locals, and they were like, wow, we've been hiking the Hollywood Hills this whole time and didn't know that these plants are actually important, have ecological importance, and I can probably connect with them in some way. So I'm starting to do nature hikes. I'm going to be doing some environmental justice advocacy workshops that look like leadership trainings, advocacy trainings, as well as one specific program that I'm really excited to take off is environmental justice Spanish practice sessions, because I
saw that.
Since I've been doing like environmental justice work, I've been trying to connect with my family even on the topic, and sometimes I'm like dumbfounded for words as to how to translate environmental science, environmental education, activism, all of these language and terminologies that aren't the everyday Spanish words you're
Right.
hearing in like daily conversation. They're a little bit more specific. So that environmental justice Spanish practice session workshop, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out yet, but I'm really excited for that. I prepared like a few lesson plans with a Spanish teacher that I'm working with. So it's like full rounded, well rounded material that people are engaging with. And then also finding new literature in Spanish that talks about environmental justice, which before I didn't think existed, but there's actually a lot of it that's being published
Yeah.
from Colombia, from Mexico, other southern South American countries as well. So that's another program. And then lastly is local land stewardship projects. So I'm going to be working with local community members that have small spaces that they're looking to transform into local habitats or something that is more ecologically or community based rather than a lawn or hedges, you know. So that's what my work is transitioning into in the next few months.
Wow.
That's so exciting.
yeah.
I feel like I have also, like, the past year been learning a lot of, like, just native plant ID and just, like, tree ID and things like that. And it makes going on hikes just so
Yeah.
much more, like, not that it wasn't so fun before, but
Mhm.
you just feel like you just have all this knowledge.
Mhm.
And even sometimes everybody's like, okay, Mel, like, we were just in the middle of a conversation, like, we don't need to know that this is like a native sage right now.
But
or
they
like,
do need to know.
right? Or it's like,
Yeah.
we don't need to know that this is a specific oak that's a
Mhm.
valley oak that's endemic to this area. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just so, it's so funny that, but what I mean to say is, like, I feel like it makes me feel so much more connected, and like there's so much like cultural significance with these plants as well. And you spoke a little bit about how, like, this project and this land stewardship project was kind of helping you adjust to maybe this newfound knowledge of just like how mind-boggling this capitalistic world is, and just like how kind of like, I don't know, isolating, but also just like sometimes I just feel like I freeze when there's so much like coming down on me, and like
Mhm.
so much is almost feels like out of my control, or out of the
Yeah.
control of like my small community that we're doing, like, you know, we're doing the best that we can on a marginal basis. And so like I was just wondering, wanting you to talk more about that perspective and just like that journey that you had with like kind of learning these things. You went to Berkeley?
Yeah. Went to
I
UC
also
Berkeley.
went to Berkeley,
Oh,
and
okay,
so
cool.
it's just like I know kind of, I feel like I kind of know like where you're coming from too, of just like being in that space and like kind of coming to this knowledge, and then really like having something so beautiful come out of a really like kind of hard thing to have to come to
To
terms
navigate.
with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Scorpio Gardens helps me really contextualize our current situation historically, not just like, hey, we're gonna show up and try and do a community garden. Like we we're like, there's so much history behind land management, behind ownership, behind our food system even. So it I understand it's super difficult to acknowledge all of these things. And like, for instance, I don't grow all my own food. Like, I still go to the grocery store. I still participate in all these systems
Yeah.
as well, because we're damn near held at gunpoint to participate in them.
Yeah.
So I think it's through small projects, even through small changes in your daily life, that kind of like help you realign your mentality to be like, kind of a little bit more at peace, where you're like, okay, this wretched system has me working a 9 to 5, has me eating food from like this exploitative food system, has me wearing clothes that is also exploitative, you know, all of this. So um starting to make small changes and acknowledging all of those things is helpful in seeing like your path to the future. And for me, Scorpio Gardens is also like a reimagination of the future. It's like a vision saying, we're not going to accept the status quo. We're not going to accept continuous land degradation, continuous community harms, through the education and land stewardship projects that we can work on locally. And I think connecting to your local movements, to your local ecology, also really puts you into perspective globally. When you realize, hey, my community isn't the only community experiencing climate change. It's also other communities globally that through all the same systems are experiencing these changes. So whether that's watershed management, for instance, here in Los Angeles, we have the Los Angeles River that collects and extracts all the water straight into the ocean, rather than acknowledging that, hey, that water is part of this local ecosystem. It's supposed to rain here. There's supposed to be flooding. And that helps us contextualize like our place and space. So like even when you're mentioning going on a hike and knowing a few native plants, that really helps you contextualize, hey, I'm hiking here, I'm getting my exercise, but I'm also being able to connect with the local ecosystems. So I think that connection to the ecosystem then connects you to the social justice movement, and then slowly you end up being able to find your space within it.
Wow, I love your like connection between like ecology and like knowing that, and then connecting that to the social movements behind just like the social justice work that I think we're all trying to like participate in. Like that was really cool.
Yeah, and it's not just about the environment. Like environmental justice entails community justice as well, like human rights, other species rights as well, access to clean water, access to clean air, food sovereignty. All of these issues are like larger than individuals, and being able to find community that resonates with that is really helpful in navigating it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how did you come up with the name?
So the name, I'm a Scorpio myself. I'm a double Scorpio, actually. I'm a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio moon, rising, excuse me. And I think for me, Scorpio, I resonate with Scorpio in the, specifically like with land stewardship, being able to connect with the land. I know Scorpios get like a really bad rep for being quiet, like resting bitch face. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can say that. Things like that. But I think for me, doing land work really resonates with like my Scorpio side, because it's a place where you can reflect, you can like be with yourself, be with the land, and you're actually communing while doing land work, whether that's because you have some garden partners or because you're communing with the land, you're communing with like the smaller species in the soil. That's one reason that I named it Scorpio Gardens. And then gardens because this work is happening all over the place. It's not just my work happening, and like not just work that I inspired, but also the same type of work that came and emerged through the same thinking globally or throughout the country. So in my head, there's like multiple Scorpio garden situations going all over the place, kind of with this perspective on it. Yeah.
I love the way that you explain all of it. I want to get to know a little bit more about you, about, you know, your upbringing and kind of what shaped you into this person that you are today and the advocacy that you're doing. Where did you grow up? Here in the San Fernando Valley?
Yeah, I actually grew up not far from Maclay. I'm like on Maclay and 4th Street, so not far from down here. And that's been where I lived my whole life. I went to school for middle school and elementary school, like in the Granada Hills area of the valley, and then high school in the Lakeview Terrace area. So I was around the valley, and I guess my introduction to advocacy was actually first with Somos Familia Valle back in high school over about 10 years ago now, when we were advocating for LGBTQ center here in the San Fernando Valley, and thankfully they've opened it now. I believe it's been a year now or so.
Shout out Somos. They're on Sheldon and Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, so that was one of my first introductions to advocacy, and since then I started like in high school I started gardening, and then from gardening I got into growing my own food. From that I started like wanting to teach other people and expand that in the community. And yeah, so then when I got into school, into undergrad, I majored in society and the environment. So learning about all the systems that we work with the environment and how it impacts the environment and people. And then from there, I was also working on like local land stewardship projects. At UC Berkeley, there was a few different organizations doing community gardening, urban gardening, and land justice movements like that. So I was involved in a few of those and worked primarily as the landscape manager for my apartment complex. And there I was able to tend to, like, not my own orchard, but the community orchard, and growing seasonal crops, got an introduction to native plants because we would plant native plants around the property as well. So that's kind of my history into environmental justice. And after school, I was looking for work in the field in environmental justice, but I feel like here in SoCal, there's way less environmental justice orgs doing work at the moment, or they just aren't at the size where they're hiring 50,000 new undergrad graduates. So I didn't get any work in that. So I focused on a different construction job for a while, construction management. And then after about a year of that, I decided, like, you know what, I do want to go in full send on Scorpio Gardens, and committed to the Scorpio Gardens full time, selling houseplants. I actually started in the San Fernando swap meet and then phased out of that, and then also doing landscaping services, specifically with native plants. So combating the conventional landscapes of turf or lawns and decorative stones, pebbles, things that wouldn't really provide ecological value, and transitioning to native plants and permaculture design as well.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. Honestly, I don't even know really what to say because I have so many thoughts. I'm thinking about remember that garden tour we did a couple of years ago?
Was it with Theodore Payne Foundation?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. I remember who it was. But point is, I was thinking about that. And I'm like, so that's kind of like the type of landscaping that you would do. Those type of gardens.
Yeah. So native plant landscaping entails like planting and establishing gardens that are representative of the local ecosystem. So a lot of times we have a lot of confusion, especially here in LA. One big example of like ecological confusion, I would say, is the palm trees of Los Angeles. There's kind of a big discussion going on also throughout LA, but the palm trees in Los Angeles are not native to here. They were imported, and because they were trying to sell the California dream and having rows of orange orchards and palm trees as the vision for like visit this tropical oasis and come live in this beautiful Mediterranean climate, we have a lot of Robin Wall Kimmerer coined this term. It's called species loneliness, where humans are disconnected from the other species around them. And so we can't even go outside and identify a few plants that we resonate with or are in community with. So native planting is using plants from our local ecosystem, introducing them back into our neighborhoods, into our communities where they were originally bulldozed over, paved over, built over, and allowing them to thrive in our communities, helping them thrive through, they'll thrive on their own because they're adapted to our climate as well. So they're really drought tolerant and climate resilient plants as well. They've lived in these areas for millennia, generations before us. That's what entails native planting, and it supports local wildlife, native wildlife. As soon as you plant even one bush, it makes quite a big difference. I just got a small bush. It has like 3 branches on it from a nursery, and it's already had a bunch of native bee visitors. I haven't even planted it in the ground. I need to plant it. And the tiniest little silver bee was like fuzzing around it the other day. I thought it was so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, off air, we will talk about my beef with palm trees.
We all have beef with palm trees.
I can't even.
Yeah.
They're honestly so scary with these winds.
And the fires, they're like...
But they're dying out, aren't they?
Yes,
they have like a lifespan of 100
That's
years, and then so now the problem becomes like, how do we safely
get rid of them?
Get rid of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The county has has an ordinance that you're not allowed to plant any new palm trees.
I don't know of such ordinance. I don't know, but
The county, not the city. I think it's
yeah,
the
there's
county.
different cities, like for instance Beverly Hills. I would imagine that it's probably in like their master plan or like um in their city planning to continue to have palm trees just because it's such an iconic thing for them. It's like we need to find the new icon for LA essentially.
Yeah.
It's an oak tree.
I would
Let's be
say an oak
real.
tree would be good. Or maybe we can do like the mountain lion. But I guess a plant would be better.
Yeah, an oak tree. I love oak trees. All right, y'all. Well, you guys are listening to Voces Unidas on KROJ 101.5 FM. We are talking today to Ethereal from Scorpio Gardens. Scorpio Gardens.
Scottish.
I'm Diosy.
I'm Melisa.
And Maria.
And we're your hosts for tonight. We'll be right back with y'all. Please enjoy this playlist that was curated by our colleague, Alex Infinity. It's called Las Comadres, Locals Only. And if you like the music, it's on Spotify. We are back, everyone.
Hello, hello.
That was Cranberry Dreams by Alex Infinity. And this is our playlist called Las Comadres, Locals Only. And it's curated by the same artist, Alex Infinity, our colleague and a co-host here on Voces Unidas, KROJ 101.5 FM. I am Diosy.
I'm Melisa.
And Maria.
And we are your hosts today. We're here with Ethereal from Scorpio Gardens. And we just had a lovely chat about Scorpio Gardens and the different components that make it up, and just some background on Ethereal and how they came to be such an advocate of environmental justice here in our community and across, the greater LA area. We did want to bring up to y'all, there is going to be a hike coming up, right, Ethereal?
Yes, I have a guided nature hike coming this Sunday, October 19th. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I welcome anybody listening. You can get some more info about it on my social media, Scorpio Gardens, or scorpiogardens.com. And it'll be a guided nature hike at Placerita Canyon. I feel like it's a pretty unknown nature space. It's off the 14 in Newhall. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty local to the valley. It's about 15 minutes out of the valley. And yeah, they also have a nature center there. So after the guided hike that I'll be leading with my friend Sophia, she's actually going to be leading a mindfulness exercise and stretch during the hike as well. They have a nature center that you can visit that has a few raptors, which are birds of prey, on display. I believe they have some tortoises. And they also have a interpretive nature center where you can see a little bit more about some of the other mammals that live there and some of the reptiles and insects as well.
Oh, cool. I have been to Placerita Canyon to hike, but I've never been to the nature center. So that's really cool.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I want to. Maybe I'll join you for your hike.
Please do.
What time is it going to be at?
So we'll start at 9 a.m. and it'll go till around noon.
Okay, cool. And do you know how long it is?
The hike itself, it's about 3 miles out and back. We're going to hike 1.5 miles in to some lunch tables to do a reflection workshop with some nature journaling, and then we'll hike back to the nature center.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not an intense hike. It's pretty easy. It has some uneven footing. Apart from that,
so
easy.
Beginners and, intermediate hikers.
Definitely good for beginners for sure.
Cool. That's great information.
Do people need to bring anything with them?
I would recommend long sleeves and pants, just because there is poison oak along the trail, which we'll be pointing out along the way. And then a notebook, water bottle, sun protection. Will be pretty shaded throughout the hike, but sun protection just in case.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
And how can folks support your hike or your future events?
Yeah, so on our Eventbrite page, you can donate there, even if you're not going to be attending. That helps me promote and produce more of these hikes. I'll also have my Venmo listed on my Scorpio Gardens account, where you can donate to Scorpio Gardens programming, and that helps me produce more free events as well. So all my events so far are free and donation based. So that's what keeps them going. Hopefully down the line, I get to the level where I can start charging for some of these. But right now, that's how we're working.
Hey, if you guys want any personal hikes, that's
Yes,
something you
book
could
me
charge
for your staycations or something.
staycations. If you guys need a personal tour guide through a hike, you know, Scorpio Gardens Ethereal. That's so cool. I'm really looking forward to this hike. We used to do hikes a little while ago, like a year ago, but we got really busy, and it just like kind of fizzled out in a way. But
Like a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, we've definitely been looking for like, organizing is hard, and we organize in a lot of different spaces, and I think nature was something that we were all very passionate about, but it did unfortunately kind of fall on the back burner, and a lot of other events kind of took priority. But we have been looking for an intentional space to come and join and be a part of. So I'm really looking forward to checking out, this next hike that you have going on Sunday, October 19th. I'll be there at 9 a.m. hopefully. I got to check my calendar. I don't really know what I got going on that day, but Sunday.
That's this Sunday.
Probably just laundry.
Oh no, stop it. We have a show.
Oh.
Yeah, I might be able to catch you if you do like an evening hike at some point, but
Definitely. I've gotten quite a few requests for evening hikes already.
Yeah.
So
So
nice.
I'm going to add some of those.
especially right now.
Even driving over here, the sunset was so pretty with all
Yeah.
the clouds. Like,
Aw.
Yeah, our last hike was actually in the rain. It was like a misty day, and everyone was super committed. We still went on the hike. Everyone loved it and was like smiling and laughing by the end of it.
I love
yeah,
it.
but like I feel like just being out in nature, it's so like rejuvenating.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that. I feel like you can never have like a bad time when you're out there, unless
Right.
something.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Something rolling on
So yeah, don't roll your ankles.
Yeah.
Make sure don't jump, and don't jump when you're out in
jump.
nature. Just like
heard it-
take care of your
you
I'm
ankles.
gonna put that
it
on my
here first,
liability
people.
waiver.
Yeah, literally don't
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah.
You don't need to be jumping out there on
Drink water.
uneven grounds. But before we wrap up, I did want to ask you about your collaborations. You mentioned you have a collaboration with a friend for this next hike. Is that something that you do frequently? Because you did mention other collaborations like within your projects that you do. So how do you normally work those out, and how do you like create these relationships? And if somebody is interested in partnering with you, how would you go about that?
Yeah, so going back to kind of like your all's work, saying that you used to do hikes, environmental justice work, as I mentioned earlier, entails so many things. This friend that I'm working with, her name is Sophia Onaja, and she's a trauma-informed educator and public health advocate, and through her work, she's brought a lot of insight to me about the impacts of climate change and local environmental injustices leading to higher public health crisis, domestic violence issues, women's rights issues, women's reproductive health issues as well. So there's a correlation between people that suffer more environmental injustice and these other injustices like violence against women, domestic violence, homophobia, transphobia, all of that. So as I mentioned, it's all intertwined. It's all interconnected. So I don't see like, it's more of a spectrum to me, all the type of work that is possible. Since she does a lot of sex education and public health advocacy, we've discussed having a Birds and the Bees event where we learn about our local ecology and pollinators and stuff, and then also having a section where we talk about, okay, now humans and our reproductive health, sexual health, consent, and then tying that back to land stewardship. Okay, how are we working with the land in a consentful way? How are we working in a way that is restorative and regenerative in all our relationships. So from the interpersonal to the ecosystem relationships that we have. So she's my biggest partner right now. Thank you, Sophia, if you're listening.
Shout
And-
out
Sophia.
Yes.
Love you.
And yeah, if anyone else is interested in partnering, I'd be more than happy to see what's up. You can reach me at ethereal@scorpiogardens.com. That's my email. Or send me a DM on Instagram at Scorpio Gardens. I'm really interested in starting to do some more environmental education programming. So if anyone wants to help take the lead on some of that, I'd be more than happy to. I'm specifically, the hardest thing as a very tiny business with little budget is finding venues. So that's why most of my work has been outdoors at public venues. If anyone has relations with venues, whether that's community spaces or something a little bit more legit, that would be awesome as well.
Yeah, well, we definitely need to chat because we do. We have a connection with a local garden here in Pacoima at Arleta and Reseda. And so would definitely love to chat and see how we can involve you in the work that we're already doing. And then hopefully, you know, you can branch out and do your own work there as well. Yeah. But we'll definitely connect on that. Shout out So Collective. Shift Our Ways Collective, which is urban gardens here in our community of San Fernando Valley. But before we hop off air, anything that you want to add, a message maybe for the community?
Yeah, I think a message for emerging land stewards and community organizers that I think hopefully brings you all insight is be in the context that you're working in. You know, we are sometimes, if you're in school, if you're in class, you're learning about a lot of big ideas that you don't know how to connect back to your community. So I think having a local context, learning your local history is really important, and then connecting that to the global movements. I was recently listening to a lecture on environmental justice in Mexico, and they talked about how environmental justice work is most important locally because it will solve issues more directly and then have that global impact, because we're undoing some of the harm that happened globally that contributed to that global impact in the first place. So they also mentioned get the local done first before going elsewhere. So that's kind of my purview and my vision. Yeah, and I welcome anyone else into the movement. If you're looking to do land stewardship, I encourage you also to transition your thinking from, hey, I'm a gardener, like I'm growing food, I'm planting a plant, to, hey, I'm a land steward, I'm tending the soil, I'm tending the water, I'm tending the earth, and also tending your community, because it really will help you align yourself with people that are like-minded and provide so much more fulfilling work, I feel like.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ethereal, for joining us today.
Thank
Again,
you.
shout out Teodora for this lovely
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Teodora.
guest that we had today. We are wrapping up here. Don't go anywhere, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back with Alex Infinity and their very special guest this evening, New Soul Generation of Germany. We had the lovely pleasure of doing the sound production for them for the really, really free market with Etna Street Solidarity yesterday. And so we're just super stoked that they were able to make it in today under such short notice. But we're sure you guys are going to have quite a great time listening to what they have in store for you. So don't go anywhere. Again, this is Voces Unidas on KROJ 101.5 FM. Your hosts that are logging off are Diosy,
Melissa?
And Maria.
Bye,
Bye.
Ethereal.
Bye, thank you.